Hi guys. We are going to work on grammar today. And so go ahead and flip to your next blank page in your writing notebook. Okay, you're going to create a T chart like this. On one side, you're going to say things that I learned. On the other side, you're going to have put questions I still have. Okay, and you can pause this video so that students have time to do that. Okay. Um, we are going to read about Milton Hershey today. We started talking about him at the beginning of the week, and we are going to continue talking about him today. We are actually going to write a baby essay on Milton Hershey, kind of like what you've been doing with Jeremy. You're going to think of some character traits that describe Milton Hershey and think of some evidence from what I read to you today on why. And then we will go from there. So at the top of your page, above your T chart that you just made, you can write Milton Hershey. Okay. His name's right here in gray, Milton Hershey. Okay. This is one of the things I'm going to read to you. As I'm reading, you're following along and you're thinking about your T chart you just created on things that you learn about Milton Hershey. And then when I'm done reading, I want you to think, do I still have questions? Okay, so let's go ahead. This article is called Candyman. Milton's father heard of his son's start in the candy business. Henry was always full of business ideas, so he traveled to Philadelphia to share them with Milton. Henry's advice was not good. Milton worked hard, but he did not make much money. After 6 years in the business, Milton's candy shop failed. Milton felt ashamed. So in 1882, he moved away to Denver, Colorado. There, he got a job with a candy maker. The candy maker taught Milton how to make caramels. At this time, most caramels contained paraffin. Yet in Denver, Milton learned of a secret ingredient that made his caramels delicious. Fresh milk instead of paraffin made the candies taste wonderful. They stayed fresh longer too. Armed with his knowledge, Milton moved to Chicago, Illinois. He started a business there making candies, but he didn't stay long. In 1883, Milton moved to New York City, New York. During the day, he worked for a candy maker. At night, he made his own caramels. But sales were slow. In 1886, he moved back to Lancaster to start over one more time. Okay, so hopefully you could jot down some things that you did learn. Again, you can pause this video to give students time to write things down. Also, I just wanted to kind of go back to our social studies for a minute. When we were talking about Milton Hershey at the beginning of the week, I want you to refresh your memory and remember that we said he did not just wake up one day and have a candy factory, that he probably worked really hard to get that factory. So, this is one little snippet of Milton Hershey's life, and he actually failed in the beginning, according to this article. So I want you to think about that, a time that you have failed at something, but you really wanted to accomplish, and ask yourself, did I give up or did I keep trying? Okay. At this moment, I'd like you to pause this video and write down some things that you learned, and then write down any questions you might have about Milton Hershey. Okay, I'm going to read one more little article about him. And this you can add more to your chart that you just made, or yes, add more if you hear anything different. Okay, this one's broken into headings, which we know that nonfiction typically has. Okay, so listen carefully to each heading. Learning to make candy. In 1872, Milton went to work for Joseph Royer at the Lancaster Confectionery Shop. There, Milton learned about the art of candy making. He made all sorts of candy, including caramels, fudge, and peppermints. He really enjoyed being a candy maker, and he had found what he wanted to do the rest of his life. Starting his own business. When Milton was 19 years old, he decided to open his own candy business. He borrowed money from his aunt and uncle to get the business started. He opened the shop in the big city of Philadelphia. He had all sorts of candy products, and he also sold nuts and ice creams. Failing. Unfortunately, no matter how hard Milton worked, he couldn't figure out how to get his business to make a profit. He worked harder and harder, but soon he ran out of money and had to shut his business down. Milton wasn't one to give up. He moved to Denver, Colorado, and got a job with a candy maker where he learned that fresh milk made the best tasting candy. Then he opened another candy shop in New York City. This shop failed too. Okay? I want you to think about your learning pit. This shop failed too. So he opened and started two candy shops and they both failed. It would be easy to give up, but I want you to think, do you think he gave up? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Lancaster Caramel Company. Back in Lancaster, Milton once again started a new candy business. So this was his third business, guys. This time he would specialize in making just caramels. His caramel company was a huge success. Before long, Milton had to open up a new candy making factory in branches all over the country. He was now a rich man. Okay, so he did not give up, and did it pay off in the end? Absolutely. Okay. So again, I want you to, I want you to think of a few things that you learned and a few questions that you still have. Guys, we're going to use these things that we learned in our baby essays in just a minute. Okay. Here's my example of a baby essay. So just like your paper on Jeremy, you said Jeremy is, and you gave me a character trait, okay? You told me he was kind, caring, grateful, all of these things. And then yesterday, we started working on adding details from the story that we read, those shoes. We're doing the same thing with Milton Hershey. I just read you a couple examples or a couple articles about Milton Hershey, and now I'm coming up with an idea about Milton Hershey. So my example, you cannot use this one. This is my example. Is Milton Hershey is a known successful candy businessman today due to the determination he had in his early life. Okay, so I want you to think about. So I'm saying he's successful. I want you to think about what you think about Milton Hershey. Give me some sort of trait about Milton Hershey. Then I want you to think about two reasons that support this claim, okay, or your central idea. So my claim is that he's successful. So my two reasons should be evidence from what I read about him being successful, okay? So I said he's successful. My first reason is at the young age of 19, he started his own candy company. Okay. Guys, I don't know about you, but like typical 19-year-olds is graduating high school or about to graduate high school. So for him to be that young and start his own company, that is huge. And that definitely goes with him being successful. Another reason that supports him being successful is he had, this one actually says that he had many failed candy businesses. But this kind of goes with the second piece of my claim because I said due to his determination he had in his early life. Okay. So I'm saying he's successful and determined. So successful, I supported that with he started his business at 19. Determination or determined, I'm saying that his businesses failed even more. And guys, if I was writing Fast and Furious, I would even go to tell you more about how even though he had two failed businesses, he didn't give up. And in the end, he was successful. Okay. I would add that detail to these two reasons. So, right now, what I want you to do is I want you to think about a claim for Milton Hershey yourself. So, I said he was successful and determined. I want you to think of some on your own. And, guys, if you choose successful or determined, you have to do different reasons than I did. Okay. They can't be the exact same. Okay. And then also, I need you to look back, and you can either go back in the video or go back on my slides and look at evidence from the two passages that I read you about Milton Hershey. Okay, this is then the next blank page of your writing notebook. Okay, if you have any questions, please raise your hand and wait patiently for you to be called on. Okay.